and the Void Avenger and the Driller Mark and something good with Raj hopefully will all pay off for me. I don't want to discard this Elemental Adept, so I'm going to banish... I'll banish the Vandal Soul. There's two of those. There's one of those. There's two Minotaurs. And, you know, if I draw, like, my Driller Mark, I don't want him killing it before I draw my weapon. You know, so I can get max value off playing it. I think I might put the Spark Sprayer in the discard pile. It's another card that can trigger both of those Mechanas. And it doesn't do much for me this turn. So I'm just going to hold off on it. And that gives me 9 rune. And with 9, I think the most effective thing I can do is buy the Energy Monk and the Astrolabe. And I think I will put the Energy Monk on top using the ability of the Fanatic. I'm going to do that first. And then I will take the Astrolabe. So I'm going to have plenty of Mechana to trigger the abilities of the weapon and the Driller Mark on my next round through the deck. Which is almost just like having, you know, they're almost as good as kind of some of these 5 and 6 cost heroes that you get excited about having in a deck at this point, because, you know, they're going to be doing so much by the time I draw them. I mean, you play a construct that says gain a soul gem and 3 power, and whatever else that construct does, you know, that's a Void Avenger plus there, right? So, meanwhile, he was able to purchase, let's see his log, he purchased a heavy and a prodigal, or he purchased a mystic, and used his prodigal, and his heavy was not able to beat a Cinero monster. I'm going to be able to use the weapon twice, so I'm going to make plenty of power here. I'm going to start with the Nothing Man. I think generally a Soul Gem is more powerful than the average card in my deck. And I think I am going to be trying to go for that Cogmaw this turn, and there it is. Beat the Minotaur first. So, and I'll just keep my Minotaur for the next turn. You know, I'm hoping it may help me draw like my Driller Mark. That's one particular reason not to use it last turn when I already had what I wanted to purchase the highest value card. As I didn't want to draw the Driller Mark that turn because I wanted it to also trigger the weapon, which had already been triggered that turn by itself. Now, hopefully with the Star Child, Lionheart, and the Minotaur, I'll be able to draw to the Driller Mark. And see what else I'll be able to do. Oh, a Repurposer. Nothing wrong with that. At this point, as long as I'm able to keep purchasing Mechana, then I think the abilities of the better heroes that I do have are just going to carry me at this point. He has a lot of mystics and heavies. He has been banishing better than me with the Nilemancer since he's had it since the first round. But he really doesn't have the kind of powerful cards that I do to make the banishing pay off. So there's the Driller Mark, and I think I will go ahead with, now that I have the Avatar, I'm going to start with this hero. And yeah, I'm pretty good with drawing this Wolf Acolyte right away. And I do want to clear some cards from the board because I want my Void Avenger to hit. So I think I'm going to, instead of buying the Cogmaw, going to go ahead and buy these Abolishers. I think we're coming down to that last turn or two anyway. Okay, so I bought an Abolisher. There's the Jackal. So now I can trigger my Void Avenger. I don't think I have another kind of construct for the Golem other than my Mechanas at this point, and no particular reason to think I'm about to have a way to get one of those into play. So I can just go ahead and play this Golem. There's nothing really great to Raj for right now. I think what I'm going to do is play the Mystic and use the Cackling Jackal to help me get the Kog'Maw, and then hope that the Raj will have a good target. It really doesn't right now. So I'll use the Mystic in case some kind of one honor hero pops out and purchase the Abolisher. It did not, so I will rebuy my Fanatic, kill a Cultist, obviously, and then just pass the turn. Pretty good, efficient turn, since my avatar was making all the heroes reduce cost, and I got the Kog'Maw. I built my in-game honor lead with the Lionheart and the Void Avenger and those sorts of things, so he was able here to purchase a personal wormhole, but I don't think that's going to make that much of a difference at this point, because here, since I can put this directly into hand, that's kind of an ideal buy. I'm going to banish the Militia. Now I have to draw those Abolishers that I decided to put in my deck, but I think they more than paid for themselves by the opportunity they created in the center row and the honor they'll be worth at the end of the game. At this point I have 5, so I'm just going to go ahead and buy something that maxes that honor. I'll get the Streamer's Glass, and then I will luck into a Lionheart. Nothing wrong with that. And I could pick up the Brazier Drone, but that's not really... I could put it on top, I guess, to pick up the Dreamer's Glass. Well, no, because I'll pick up... Oh, yeah, I do want that on top, actually, because then I can pick up the Driller Mark after I sacrifice it next turn to the Spark Sprayer, assuming that another turn happens. So that goes on top. And at this point, because I think the game is likely to end, I will go ahead and discard the... I'm going to discard the weapon. Any of them I can pick up with Brazier Drone. But this way, if I draw another Makana that I want to play first, I get the Driller Mark ability. Doesn't look like it's going to matter, because probably he'll be able to pick up another honor here. I think either way, got to be in pretty good shape here. I basically picked up, minus the Spider Witch, I basically picked up all of the good heroes that were in the center row, whereas he has a lot of Mystics and Heavies. I picked up almost all of the Makana. So, I got there. Kind of recapping a little bit here. The start of Starchild directly on top was just big. Into Stone Circle Elder. Got a really good run of it the first 2 turns, where he was able to pick up a Nihilomancer, but he wasn't ever really able to catch up. He couldn't get the Tower of Skara from me, which, had he gotten that, maybe with the Nihilomancer and built some runes, that could have made things different. But since I had the rune advantage, this, and by the way, Stone Circle Elder really just kind of compounds that, because it was able to pick up... I picked up all kinds of 4-cost heroes directly to my hand, like Elemental Adept, Lionheart, and Energy Monk, Shadowcaster late. It was basically at about its best in that game. You can't really ask for much more out of a Stone Circle Elder, and it's kind of a high variant sort of card, but with the Lifebound event, it felt like a really good gamble, especially since I thought there was a good chance I might get that Elemental Adept, and I did. and that helped me to keep the center row clear where I would be able to utilize it better. So it was really a key card in that win. Thanks for watching, and see you next time, and please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.